Welcome to the Paradise Citizens Alliance interviews of candidates for 5th District Supervisor. I'm Chuck Rowe, and to my left is Chris Bizard, and to my right is Casey Taylor, and we are the interview panel, and we have the privilege tonight of interviewing Maurice Huffman, a candidate for 5th District Supervisor. Welcome, Maurice.
Thank you for having me.
I'm going to lead off with the first question.
All right.
Why did you decide to run for 5th District Supervisor?
If you ask my wife, she thinks I'm nuts. But of course, that's not why I'm running. I've been here now 20 years in business, 26 years as a citizen, and also as a musician. So I got to know a lot of people from a lot of walks of life, from every corner of the county, it seems like, and it's a beautiful county. It's one of the nicest places to live, I think, tell you the truth, in all the places that I've traveled, and that's been a lot. And there's a lot of natural beauty, there's a lot of space, open space for people to do things that I like to do, fishing and hunting and going out and being about. But the main reason that I'm running is to preserve that for this county, to help preserve it, but also to make, it seems to me like the supervisor position needs to be a little more personable to the people. From what I've seen, it could use some more compassion. There's a lot of jobs. There are a lot of jobs, don't get me wrong, it's not all about that, but the employees of the county need more compassion, need more understanding from the supervisors. And I've had a business now for 20 years, and I know what it takes. Most of my employees have been there longer than 15 years. So in Paradise, to survive a business for 20 years, it takes some doing. And I have a good understanding of the business side. I have a very good understanding of the people side, with being the business and the musician and being entertainment. And also there are issues like fracking and land use that are very close to me. Public safety, very important. Being in the military surplus business, I've had a lot of contact with those kind of things. Fire safety, I was stuck in 2008 on Pence Road with a lot of, maybe 600 cars, I'm not sure, and the fire was coming up the canyon, and the traffic wasn't moving. And it was very scary. It stuck with me for a long time, I gotta admit. And so I know there's a lot done. A lot more needs to be done. More fire escapes, public safety, and compassion.
Thank you. What is your understanding of the role and responsibility of a Butte County supervisor, and more specifically, as it pertains to representing the 5th District?
Well, representing the 5th District, of course, the 5th District, fire safety is one big issue, especially the 5th District, because we're right here surrounded by these old pine trees that are crackling everywhere. But also, of course, the role of a supervisor is to, I think, make sure that there's not such a big turnover, which is very expensive. I was talking to the DA's office and the prosecutors when they had me in for a meeting, and I was a bit shocked on what the turnover is. And turnover is very expensive. I know that from business that it's not a good thing to have a lot of turnover. You train the people, and then they leave. You have to train the people over again. It's very expensive. It's not very effective. So keeping things like that together, keeping the staff, it's basically a supervisory managerial job, but also make sure that you can get everything you can from the state and Fed that's due for the county, make sure that that flow keeps coming and gets spent in the right manner.
Thank you.
In your opinion, what's the most pressing issue facing the 5th District, and what would you do to resolve it?
I'm not for sure if there's a most pressing issue. I've had a visit today from the cannabis people. That seems to be a very pressing issue to them. I think that we have to, it's not going to go away. Drugs, that's a big issue in Butte County, especially up here too. So to turn your face against it and say, we just have to ignore it, no, none of that, it doesn't work. We have to work with these people, I think. I think there has to be a solution to make it environmentally safe to grow, and to rule it and regulate it as tough as possible, and to get taxes out of it so we can use that towards education so that our children don't get involved in it. So that's a big issue that's coming up. You know, of course, I haven't been a supervisor, so the person that's been a supervisor has more insight. But the people that are coming to me, I'm asking everybody on my Facebook pages, tell me what you want to talk about and what the issues are, partially so I can learn about it, but also so I can get educated about it. That came up a lot. The fracking ban, Measure E, seems to come to my office and my attention a lot too. So I've been studying that, and I don't believe we should be fracking. I like the water the way it is. And I'd also like to keep our water and not just give it away and sell it to the first bidder that comes out there. I'm a little bit concerned about water companies. We're living in the drought, California, and we sell more water, bottled water, water to bottling companies that go out of state than any other state in the nation. And there's a couple things there that seem pressing to me. Issues also about a lot of unhappy Butte County employees that are approaching me. That feel they're underpaid, misunderstood, not talked to and listened to. So public safety. I mean, there's a lot of issues. I don't think there's one particular fire that's going on right now that needs to be put out, or that I will promise I'll put out, which would be a bad promise. Who can say that? But when they don't have the experience yet, they're going to put all the fires out. But I'm a quick learner. I'm very compassionate about what I do, and I have a lot of time to do it. So,
Maurice, how would you improve county services in the 5th District?
Which county services?
Name whatever ones you want.
Name whatever one.
Mind that you think are the most important.
Well,
that need improvement as far as you see.
I believe that mental health is a big issue here, and it's underfunded, and it contributes to the homelessness that a lot of people. You have to see what bothers the people. I like to ask people, what do you want from the county? I ask a person. I look at him and say, what do you want? Forget your political questions or your political standings. What do you as a person want from the county? And I'm hearing it quite often from people down in Chico saying that the homeless are really bothering right now, that whole situation with them being on the street every night downtown, it's something that bothers them. So I've been talking to the mental health people and other people about that, and a lot of them are there because they should really be at a mental health care, possibly, or drug programs, things like that. So that is an important service that we need to do and take care of. And of course, public safety. The theft rate out even out in the urban and out in the farms now. I hear that. Did you hear about the bees getting stolen? Thousands of beehives. They're so brazen they just drive right up with the truck and load them up and with a forklift and take off. So there's been theft in my street where I live. My car's been broken into. Infrastructure, there are more potholes than I've ever seen since I've been here. Rattle around. I have a stiff truck, so I really feel it. And I get shaken around every time I drive. So, there's a lot of issues. Also, the jail situation right now with that new law that all they're in the sheriff's jail now instead of out where they should be. That's causing problems. So I think there's a lot of issues that can be addressed. And I'm looking forward to digging in. I like digging into things and really get into the depth of it, not just scratch the surface.
You touched on it earlier, but what is your position on marijuana regulations?
Well, I had a visit today from the Inland Cannabis Farmers Association. I didn't know that existed. They came by today and talked to me. And I'm personally allergic to cannabis. So, if somebody slipped me a cookie, I'd probably die. I'm really very, very allergic to it. And I've been a musician all my life, so you can imagine I've been dodging this stuff for a long time. And have extensive experience what it can do to people. And there are, it's a big issue. My opinion is that you can't just ignore it. It's not going to go away. You can't say, I'm going to get rid of pot. That's just not going to happen. When I was a kid, I watched a show. I was in school. They showed us a film about an Indonesian tribe that was found in the 70s, this was. I don't know if anybody, nobody here seems to go back that far. But,
oh, yeah.
But they had discovered this tribe, and I'll make it relevant in a quick matter here, where that has been living without knowing about other civilization for over 20, 30,000 years. They've been so far out there. And as a teenager, I was very upset about one time when my brother came home drunk, and I had to, nobody was home, and he had some initiation of some stupid kid party and had to drink a whole bottle of schnapps or something. Anyway, he almost died on me. He was 16, I was 13. Had to get him to the hospital, and it's before cell phones, and I had a real long conversation in my head. Why are people have to get inebriated until they almost, what is it with the society? I said, well, it must be modern society, just war or whatever, things that drive people to really want to, escape. Lo and behold, I watched a show at school where they showed these people, and what were they doing? The guys were chewing on leaves to get them high, get themselves high. So it's in the DNA of people. We're not going to just get rid of Popeye saying we can't. We have to deal with it. And what I don't like about it, there's a few things I don't like at all about it, is that it's, when they're doing it in hiding, they're destroying the environment where they're doing it. They're destroying the creeks. I mean, they're leaving chemicals going in the water. It's bad. It's criminalized. That's another thing that's very costly. So if it can be taxed so that some of the money goes towards education, if it can be controlled, and if it's not in town, so everybody has to smell it, and it's in an agricultural area, and it can be, and I think these people that really, because it's a big money business. If they say it's for medical, please, I've been around, there might be some cases that have a medical use for it, but in most cases it's for recreational drug use. And in some cases it's devastating to people just like any other alcohol or drug. So we need to listen to these people, we need to talk to the people that are taking it serious and want to do it the right way and work with them. You can't just ban, because you never know, it could be legalized in California at one point. We're not prepared. What now? It'd be nice if we started looking into it and working with these people and see how they suggest and what we would suggest on how to do it right, safe, for the environment and for the people.
Under what circumstance, if any, would you support a tax increase?
Tax increases, it's kind of like inflation. You can't run away from it. At one point, there's always going to be some fee that you have to put up there. It's a bad word I'm going to raise taxes. So I don't want to sit here and say, I'll never raise taxes just so that I can get people to vote. I'm voting for him. I'm not going to pay more taxes. I can't really say that. There might be a situation where it's important for some very, very serious, important reasons. So I can't sit here and say what I would raise taxes for, what I wouldn't raise taxes for. In general, I'm a fiscal conservative. I've been in business, surviving here for 20 years. I don't like fees. I don't like fee. If there's a fee, I always like to look at it 50 times and argue the point, why really do we need this fee? Even if I can't avoid it, I will ask that person until they just hang the phone up on me, because I can't stand fees. I always have this conversations with the banks. Why are you kidding me? Another fee for this? I'll look for another bank. So in general, I don't like fees. I don't like raising taxes. I wish I could say, let's never raise taxes again. But as with inflation, things cost more. Health insurance for employees, or health insurance is just out of hand. The way it's going up right now. I'm not for sure where this whole health insurance program went wrong. For the people that can't afford it, it's good because they can actually get insured now. But for the people that they think can afford it, it's going sky high. And because of that, again, we're back to health insurance being not affordable. So there's a lot of things that might come up, but in general, I'm going to say to the camera, let's not raise taxes.
Maurice, do you support sewers in Paradise, and if so, how could the county help?
Oh my gosh, yes, I do support sewers in Paradise. I'm not an expert in sewage, but I got to assume that all this septics leaking into the ground can't be good for us. I don't know if there's been any extensive studies. I think people are afraid to really study that because they'd be scared what would come out of it. I know that while you were here in charge in town too, that there was a program started with Chico, if I'm correct, where they said there was a study approved. I'm not for sure what the level is. Do you know where the level is at?
They're still looking at that.
They're still looking at it. That's one thing that I don't understand, because in the business I can't look at things a long time, because if I do, it goes away and you don't make any money on it, or it doesn't work, or it just goes away. I think it needs to be absolutely 100% looked at and taken very serious. And I don't know what I can do as a county supervisor, but I'm going to sure find out as soon as I'm in there, because that's a big issue, and it's a very important issue. I think we're the biggest town on septic in America.
Do you support the county's current effort to study alternatives for fire protection other than CAL FIRE?
I'd have to say that I don't know what their other studies are right now. I'd have to look into that. Okay. And I would absolutely be interested in looking into that. I have been talking to the volunteer fire departments, and it seems that the volunteer fire departments, which are incredible people to do this on their own time, on their own penny, I think that they, since the change, felt a little bit underappreciated by, you know, I get that feeling a little bit talking to people, and I think that relationship has to be much better. I think that needs to be worked on. That's what I've found out so far when it comes to that. So.
Well, believe it or not, you've come to the end. So this
Oh,
is your
already?
opportunity. This is your opportunity
Okay.
to speak directly into that camera and speak to the voters and ask them why, tell them why they should support you for 5th District Supervisor.
Well, when you go to the polls, you're going to find out that it's going to be a very exciting election with all the craziness going on nationally. So it'll bring more people there. So when you're there, think about a few things. I'm not going to speak ill about any of the other candidates. It makes no sense to do that. They're all very nice people. I've known them all for a while, except for Ms. Wright. The reason you should vote for me is that I understand you. I know that we need to be closer to all people, no matter what party affiliation. There needs to be representation from the supervisors to you. There needs to be respect, and there needs to be care. And if you vote for me, you'll get all that. And I promise to dig in and work hard for you.
Maurice, on behalf of the PCA and our interview panel, thank you so much for participating.
Well, thanks for having me.
Thank
Appreciate
you so
it.
much.